Right.
Does the intentions, distractions sound? Does that sound good?
Let's go with intention and distractions. Do you want to begin?
Sure, yeah. So my intentions for the call are to go through the Zenhub board. I definitely want to see if we can close some issues or move them around, assign some issues, although I think we can do that at the end. I would like to, of course, give an update on Garden Swarm funding proposal and hear feedback on the strategy for making sure we're fulfilling our obligations, and also just check in on the Commons upgrade progress, and also check in on the strategy for Hatch smart contracts and how we're going to hand those to Adria, which I think there's already progress there, but just trying to stay updated. And I'll pass it to Sam.
Hello. Well, intentions. I would like to talk about a little bit of the blockers that I am having lately, and if we can kind of manage better the progress that we have been doing, especially to close the things that we have been. Maybe it deserves a point by itself, but I would like to tell that I am a bit split between closing the things that we have been doing in a way that is great to present them and explain them and document them, and also continue with the work that we were doing. And I feel kind of splitted, and I don't know what I should put the work on. And I also would like to see if the rest of the people is having similar feelings, and if we can together kind of and also I would like to know if the feeling is shared or what. And distractions, I'm in my room. I have no distractions. I am going to pass it to voting, I guess. Well, I know that you just came up. We are sharing intentions and distractions for this call.
Yeah, I'm just checking what's going on. I'm not actually sure what's going on here.
It's the Garden Swarm meeting, weekly meeting.
I see. If you didn't mind me, I'm just like here trying to understand everything for the garden.
Great. Then I am passing it to Septi.
Thank you, Sam. My intentions for the call is keep being synchronized, see what's going on. It's pretty hard for me to contribute in tech because I do not program, but yeah, I love to be here and be synchronized. I'll pass it to Paulo.
Hi, everyone. Intentions for this week is resume my work on the Hatch development, see what will be the next steps on the tech part, and discuss the details about the proposal that we have to write. So yeah, I'll pass it to YGG.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. Intentions are really just to sort of be here passively and track how you guys are working and everything that's happening, and see if there's any way I can contribute, and yeah, just soak up as much knowledge as I can around what's happening. I'm putting on the through the labs in the tech. We're exploring sort of visualizations of the parameters, the Hatch parameters, and the results that can play out. So just through going through that process, I'm starting to feel pretty confident that I have a good idea of what's happening here. But I think this exposure always helps. So yeah, happy to be here. Distractions, no distractions. Feeling great today. Good week. Had a good sleep. So yeah, I'll pass it over to Livy.
Hey guys, I came just to see what's going on. Sometimes I don't have the chance to catch up with this group, so I'm mostly observing and distracted by doing also some other things during the call. And I'll pass to Paula.
Oh, I was already. I went in already. Maybe we can pass it to Tonga. I think he hasn't speak yet.
Tonga, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, my mouse went crazy. Yeah, intentions similar to YGT, mostly C, but also Sam sent me to look at the GitHub from Tech Convert. So if anyone is working on that, I will be happy to meet that one. So I think it was Vivi because I've seen a few commits or a few things done. So, and she's not here, but yeah, hopefully someone else is. And I have no distractions today. I'll pass it to Gabby.
Hi guys. Yeah, my intentions are to sing with you and being more understand better all the things you're doing, and this no distraction now. Thanks.
I think Fiore is the last.
Yeah, pass it to Fiore.
Thanks. My intentions for today is to know the steps that we need to make related to the hatch, because I'm a little bit stuck with the designs. And yes, just to sync with you and know what are the plans for these weeks. And I think, I don't know, maybe Fabi didn't talk yet, but maybe, great.
Okay, hey everyone. Well, my intention for this call is to sync up with all of you. Also, with my updates on the Tech UI thing that I'm really stuck. And then I wanted to understand the conversation that we have on Telegram, like to have more information in order to start helping this thing. I think that you semi overload, so I can split your work and start helping you in some different areas. I don't know, but yeah, that's my intention. Distractions, no more than the ETH price. It's distracting me today, but just that.
Yeah, that should be a practice today. Hey everyone, close CoinMarketCap, close CoinGecko. Now we can start the call. Well, okay. There's a nice agenda list, Sam, but did you want to start with discussing blockers?
Okay. Well, it's I think that we are doing different things, and we have seen the different technical difficulties with, for example, Fabi. We are blocked with the front end. We are also blocked with, well, we had that problem that we had to upgrade the smart contract of impact hours because there was a bug, and we are continuing with. We still have to enact that vote and try to claim tokens for the impact hours of everyone in the demo DAO. It's something that I think it's not blocked, but it must to be done. And then to do the vote migration and we are kind of delayed because we were talking about doing that last week, and we are with that issue, and it's kind of delayed. And like what the things that we were doing were going ahead with the end of the hatch, of the demo hatch, and the beginning of the migration into a new DAO. That's the, for the people who is new, we are launching in two parts. One which has the hatch of people putting money in, and also impact hours. So we count impact hours for the people who has been contributing since the beginning of the project. And this is in one DAO, and then we create a new token and migrate the funds to a second DAO with conviction voting and a bonding curve. So we are in the middle of that process, and we have some technical debt. We need to document in order to, which is a blocker for the audit. And we also need to finish the things that we have been doing that are not important anymore for the hatch or TEC, but they are work that we have been doing as Garden Swarm, for example, migrating to Builder, redemptions, or things like that.
Just can we go back? You mentioned that there was a blocker, some technical debt. Can you expand on that?
The technical debt, I guess that it's documenting things, and there is a lot of pull requests that are open, and we didn't merge them because we have to review, or they have some problems or things like that. The technical debt that we have is we advance or we fix the things that we have already been doing. And by fixing the things, I mean it's some work that it's to fix the. I mean, it's not sexy work because we will end up at the same place, but it's important for two things. One, the audit. If we want to get Adria into the audit, we have to provide him with very good documentation on what everything is, because he's completely outside. And also, we are going to need, in order to communicate to a broader audience in the forum and in the One Hive forum, and for the One Hive bus swarm, we also will need that documentation. And it kind of is overwhelming because it's kind of, the plan was already delayed with the migration and all the things that we were doing, and we are also having technical debt that I don't know how we could allocate in the work. That's what I think that are the blockers that I see, and I don't know if somebody else would like to join, and also if they have some other blockers. Probably Fabi, you are going to tell, wow, it's very difficult because of the Node versions. I don't know, or if somebody else would like to tell which is the point in which they are.
Yeah. I mean, we are having an issue on the Tech UI library. We are having a kind of incompatibility between the library of the Tech Hatch and the Node version of the TechHatch and the version of the Tech UI library. That is kind of weird because if you run the project locally, everything runs okay, but when you upload the thing and Vercel compiles all the thing, it fails and gives you a node compilation error. We were working together with Sam trying to fix this, but yeah, it's really weird. I tried many different things and I couldn't fix that. So yeah, I'm kind of blocked at this point. But yeah, that's my update.
Anything that we could do together, like, because I am in a point in which I think that we are needing help, or we need to focus on just one thing at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think if it's not an issue on Vercel configuration, because we are using same versions that the Aragon UI library, and Aragon UI works and ours fails. So I don't really know, because yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And Paulo, do you?
I would like to if somebody of one had, or I don't know, can show me how you configure your Vercel project, so I can see an example. Maybe we are running something that we shouldn't. I don't know.
The configuration with, I think that it's a very specific issue.
Yeah.
And
is there a GitHub issue that we're referencing? Just out of curiosity. Otherwise, I'll make one.
I think so. It should be in Tech UI or in TechHatch. By the way, I was.
It should be in Tech UI. I agree.
By the way, I was looking for high-level issues in how we can coordinate better, or search for help in from other people. Maybe you, Paulo, have more ideas or more blockers or more ideas on how to work better.
Yeah, blockers on the TechHatch part. Basically, me and Gabby have been doing a couple of meetings a week to work on the transaction, on the MetaMask transaction problem, and the Aragon Connect update. But we're still working on it. And besides that, there are a couple of things that I want to add to the TechHatch to improve the way we fetch data from the subgraph. But apart from that, there's nothing much to tell. Well, there is the part of the documentation. I'm been writing some like an earlier stage document about the things that I've been doing, but I'm still trying to figure out, because there's nothing still yet created or about the garden swarms aspect on the wiki. I'm still figuring how to include that. But yeah, I have like a couple of paragraph about the things that I've been doing about the connector, the TechHatch frontend, and the work I've been doing with the Garden Swarms contracts on the garden. Sorry, but I think that will be all from my part.
Any suggestion on how we could work better on these things?
I mean, I would like to the thing that Fabi was mentioning, that maybe we can have some sort of input from other developers, maybe someone from OneHive will be really nice about these kinds of blockers.
I had a conversation with Enrique today, and I think
Oh,
he'd
yeah.
be. What was that, Gabby?
No, I was just talking with Fabi that I might contact also Enrique or Pierre to ask that.
Yeah, I think Enrique would be very open to being messaged on Discord and just being asked for help. I think he would be very excited, honestly. I think he'd be willing to put in an hour or two to help solve this issue.
But that will be really nice. Yeah, I think that I will really like that. Excellent. So I don't know, maybe we can move on to the documentation part, or how we can organize. Sam? I think we lost him.
Okay, well, you were talking about you had made some progress on documentation. Is it like, where is it living? Is it on GitHub already, or is it like in a Google Doc and you want it reviewed?
No, it's just a couple of notes on my computer, basically. I have not yet uploaded anywhere.
Is there what can we help with to help?
I mean, I have like specific notes on things that I work on, but I have some problems on how to adapt that. I mean, how to add that to like the main documentation. I don't know if I'm explaining myself well. I don't know how to start to write out the gardens documentation. I just have my own specific observations, so to speak.
Have you guys seen all the work that Luke and OneHive did on the Notion doc? Around the gardens? No.
Yeah, I did take a look to the. I think it was the work of Luke. It was like an. I think it was in Notion. I just clicked the link that Will left on the issue that you created, Griff. I was taking a look at that, but I don't know. Maybe it would be nice if we can have a small meeting to start working on the document, and that way I can include my part. It's just I'm having issues on how to move the things that I wrote to the main wiki entry.
I can hop on a call with you, Paulo, to review what you have and kind of provide my insight or review some of the stuff that I had written previously as well. Happy to do that.
Awesome. That would be nice.
And Luke, would you suggest that we continue working in the Notion document that you have? I mean, the dandelion voting, for instance, is just like, we don't have to do anything on that. It's done. You did an amazing job.
I mean, I think that those can totally be reused. I don't think we're really using Notion for anything anymore because you have to have like a limited number of guest accounts. It's kind of messy. So now we've got this like wiki. We don't have anything on the Dandelion project at all in the wiki, but we could migrate some of that stuff over.
I mean, we can migrate it. I think that's an easy task that we have the resources to tackle.
Yeah. I mean, right now we don't really have anybody that's like there's a bunch of apps that we created, like Aragon apps, like the payroll app and stuff like that like don't really fit into the existing swarms or structures or anything like that since we moved to XDI. But maybe we can find a place on the wiki and start migrating it. I'm not sure what all you guys need. I guess you're using the full dandelion template for the hatch, right?
Well, actually, what we are using is a Gardens template without conviction voting and the bonding curve. So it's not specifically the Dandelion organization. It uses the tollgate and things that it uses tollgate and redemptions, but it doesn't use, for example, time lock or
Gotcha.
other applications.
Okay.
It's just a garden that without some of the parts.
Yeah, maybe what we need is like we'll flesh out the like the main garden section, and then we might have like sub pages for these different flavors, because we've got like the issuance based like one that we're using for honey. We've got the like gardens thing that you guys are using for the tech hatch that includes the like multiple stages, and then we've got the other gardens template. I don't know, but having it somewhere on the wiki makes sense so that it's accessible.
And just since you're here, Luke, I'm curious, should we, what do you call, do we want to, like they're all gardens, but do we want to break this into smaller things like the honey template and the commons template, or do we like, and give just give these things names, or do we want to keep it all under gardens and just say these are flavors of gardens? And
yeah, I mean, I would say that we can keep it under gardens as like the project header, and then we can have like separate pages, because I think they are different enough in terms of the intended use and the details that like having a separate section would be like subsection would make sense.
And what do you call the honey version? Do you call it the honey template or the
In
honey
GitHub,
garden?
I guess it's the karma template still. We haven't renamed it because like we really only like we don't have it at a point where people are like reusing it. It's not like a factory or anything like that. It's just sort of like there's a script for deploying these things in GitHub under the karma template, I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because
It's
like,
that script,
we're
living in that repo. Okay.
yeah. Because I mean, like we haven't gotten to the point where we're like, oh, this is ready for people to just go to a web page and like launch this thing. So we haven't documented it to the degree that you would need to for somebody to go do that. Whereas like when we had the dandelion template, it was like, oh, here's an onboarding and here's all of the documentation for it. We don't have that like factory yet. This is all like one-off type things, and each like one-off type thing has been like a little bit different or a little bit tweaked.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll change that with Giveth, but that's a different talk. That's a different conversation. Okay, so I see a few issues here. Maybe should we keep going on with the meeting and just dive into the board and see which ones we want to assign? Does that sound good, Sam?
Okay, I had to restart my computer. I lost some of the interventions, but I just wanted to say hi, Luke, hi, Daihi, and what are we right now? Did we finish the blockers and we can go with the rest of the points? That's what you are proposing, Cliff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, what we have is Fiore also wanted to talk about the blockers that she is having, maybe on the define.
Yeah.
Would you like to go ahead? I think that we are a good group to help with that.
Yeah, actually, I worked on what we discussed last week, but I add another option to show the how is going the fundings. So what would be great is like you left comments there on Figma to know if I need to make some changes or which option are we going to use, so I can continue working on the flow, because now since I wasn't sure which one we were going to use, I didn't want to continue. So if someone can do that, that would be great. And I think with that, the block is out. I mean, I can continue.
Okay. There isn't anything you want to share, like the just go to the Figma, right, and leave comments there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can share again the link after the meeting, but it is the same that we have. I shared before, but yeah.
Is there anyone in specific that you'd like to review, or does anyone want to volunteer to review the Figma and give feedback?
Now I think that you, Sam, or you, Riff, that would be great, because we were discussing with you and the past week how we are going to resolve some stuff there. So if one of you two can do that, that would be great.
Yeah, maybe after this call, we can have a quick. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so the rest of the things, Tonga commented. We had a quick chat with Tonga about what can I do, and I told him there are some issues in TC Convert, which is the front end for the bonding curve that takes OneHive's marketplace. It's Aragon Convert, but with the OneHive bonding curve, or at least the OneHive bonding curve interface. And there are so many issues there that could be interesting. Bibi was working on some of them, but if now that we have here and maybe there are more people who would like to contribute, what we can do is very quick to show which are the issues that are open and ready for new contributors, and really quick, because I also would like to have time to talk about what should we do from now on if we have this. We have to finish the things that we were working on, and if that's more priority than continue. Like there are many things to finish, and it's like getting a bit difficult. I will talk about that, and I think that it's going to be. Let's have some time for talk about that. But first, because Tonga told that it will be interesting to know. Let's share a little bit what are the issues that anybody could take.
Oh, hey, Sam, I already have that up. I have it filtered for good first issue on my live stream. If you want, I can drive.
Okay, great. Great. Okay, Rain is already taking that help link. And are there some issues that are not taken? For example, that require minimum return amount. That's a very interesting one. it's to have something like Honeyswap or Uniswap, in which you are saying, please, if I'm selling or buying tokens, don't. Right now, what we are putting there is a 0, which can be very easily front run, and the idea is to put 1% slippage maximum. I don't know if maybe you will need some more explanation. I don't know. The thing is that the issues there, maybe we can coordinate through it.
Yeah, Sam, I was looking at this one today, and just today managed to run it locally, so I will be taking a look at this one too.
Okay, I tried to explain it in the issue, but if there are something that you understand and want to ask me, please go ahead.
And that slippage piece is built into the smart contracts. We just need the front end for it, right?
Yes, the thing is that in the call to the function, the last parameter is like which is the minimum that you are going to accept, and right now we are accepting. The front end is accepting a 0, which should not be. We have to accept a 1% less, and it also implies that we should add that in the front end.
In an ideal world, we would follow. In an ideal world, we would follow the same pattern that the other AMMs are using, right? Where the user would have an option to change it. Or is that too much?
Yeah,
too
in the ideal world,
complicated?
it's too much. I think it's too much. And I think that it's a good one because you can go with it. If you want to go first with without the front end, but assuring that number is present in the call, you can go first with it and then with the front end. By the way, I will not I'll make that point more longer, because I think that we should talk about the how we are very low on funds, and we should talk about what is very important to finish and say, hey, because we had those funds from One Hive, and it's very important that we can provide a very good result from the work that we have been doing with those funds. And we have not been communicating very well because we have been working and not documenting, and because of that technical debt, it has been hectic. So in some way, we have to finish the work, and and it's also very imperative to launch the hatch. And me personally, I'm in a point in which if I advance, I cannot be documenting or communicating. I am a little bit. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I think the goal of this call is really to divide the work, and then so that you can know exactly these are the things I'm focusing on this week. And I feel like if we make sure that we divide the work so you don't have to worry about the other things, then you can do that. And then the other things that need to be done, we just need to be good at delegating and assigning. We can't do it all at once, but yeah, I think that we can do some of it and get it done.
As well, I could take on some coding work on the front end because I haven't been around, so I wouldn't know anything about what's going on in the Solidity contracts, to be honest. But little fringe cases like this, I could definitely fly through them this week. If that helps.
That's great.
Yeah,
if
there's
you
this.
out.
So I was just going to suggest that there's issue in TEC convert require a minimum return amount. It's a good first issue, and it doesn't have anyone assigned.
For me, yeah.
Do you think that would work?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's right.
Yeah. But in order to do that one, you need to do the manage exit tribute properly first. It's necessary. So I was doing the other one. How much it's going to take?
Yeah,
but
I think
necessary to do the other one first.
Manage exit tribute. All right.
Oh, Fiore is on this manage exit tribute properly. Oh, and here's the design. So we can, so we'll just say that I need to add you to the repos, Tonga, but I think you can take on both of those, and that would be okay. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, well,
and we can, because then we can assign. We could pass this. This one is also good. Address is not properly detected. We could pass that to Dahi.
Yeah. Go ahead, guys. These are not. These are important issues in order to have the good experience for the people. But they are not needed to be done. They are issues that are out there, and you can go and take whatever you want. And I'm super glad that you want to take them. But with the 10 minutes that we have, I think that it's very important to talk about. There is that OneHive wiki that we should be explaining, because I think that it's more important right now to talk about that Gardens is not, or the part that we are doing inside Gardens, which we could say the commons flavor of Gardens, is not so known inside OneHive. And one of the things that we have been talking about is to document it in the OneHive wiki and these kind of things. I think that that's one of the things that we could be doing. I think that we are going to need help with that. I don't know if we should be. I'm a bit lost with that one. I don't know if somebody could help in that one, or.
I was actually hoping that we could bring a member of the Buzz onto the team so they could be advising us on and helping us do it. Is like, sometimes it's hard to hold a lot of these flags, you know? It's like, it's nice to say this person is on charge of our comms with OneHive, and they'll tell us what we need to do. Obviously, they can't do it all because, well, they may not know what to say, especially at first, but they can at least be like, oh, this is the issue that needs to be done. Sem, can you do this thing? Griff, can you join this call? Or can you make sure we have this weekly update? And then they carry the flag and make sure it gets done. and of course, they would join the team and become a member. And hopefully even join the transparency group and even TEC comms and become a bridge for the whole project into OneHive. And actually, I approached Dosh about it, but I haven't had a chance to respond to his message or even read it. So I don't know, Dosh, if you're here.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Hey, Dosh. Would I messaged you about potentially joining the Gardens team. Did you have any interest in doing that and helping us really be a bridge to the OneHive community?
Yeah, my simple response was to you. I'm not the exact person, I should say, to kind of follow you guys and what you guys are doing. On a technical level, I have no idea. On a more broad level, I kind of understand what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to, create an easy way for DAOs to be formed, if I'm not mistaken. As far as the technical aspect of things, I'm not sure how I would be able to relay it because my just knowledge on these things. Integrating with you guys and, being part of your team will kind of suck my energy and kind of learning your guys' projects. So it would be ideal if we had, like you said, one of your current members to just relay some information back to us and then we could work something out that way. But as far as, creating marketing specific to gardens, that's teams of people working with you guys and, trying to push what you guys are trying to build. And it just really depends what you guys want. If you guys are trying to advertise it within the OneHive community, I mean, that's simple, right? We just, we talk about what you guys do in the posts and go from there. But if you guys want to take it to the next level, I mean, there's about, 10 to 15 people that are assisting to do those things.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. See, for you, it seems simple. For us, it's a foreign land to an extent, and we don't need to have them. And this is where I'm like, ooh, if we had a member of the Buzz team on our team, they could advise us and support us in these comms. It doesn't have to be you, Dosh, but I would love. You're actually who Boring recommended, and so I would be down to find another recommendation, because if you're saying this your energy, oh man, no, this needs to be something that is like enthusiastic, right? Like you'd be like, yes, I get to check in on the Garden Swarm. What the hell are they doing? I can't wait to tell everyone, right? Or get Griff to tell everyone, which is also the option. So I don't know. Do you yeah.
I mean, like what you guys are doing right now, being part of the community, having the calls here is more than enough, to show interest within OneHive. So, I mean, you guys are doing a great job right now, just being a little bit more transparent about what you guys are doing. So, the rest of the community kind of gets an understanding of it. As far as actually contributing the hours that you want, I'm not sure I'd have the time to do it. I am managing all of the Buzz stuff right now with Buzz DAO guys. So we do have our own DAO where, we create various initiatives to promote OneHive and its projects. I think you're doing a pretty reasonable job as, hopping in on calls through the OneHive, I should say Discord, because I know you guys mentioned you guys have your own Discord. But yeah, as far as the foreign land stuff, if you could create kind of like an update of what is happening, and then more people will start, kind of identifying the members working on it and, build the trust within the new community members. I know a lot of you guys have been from the start with OneHive and the devs at OneHive. And it's just the newer members have no idea what's going on. So I think focusing a bit of the effort, it doesn't have to be, like you guys said, like I know Sam was mentioning, it doesn't have time to do documentation, which is totally understandable. But it doesn't have to be much. We could literally just record calls like this, and then we could say, this is what Gardens discussed about. That's not a huge issue. Most members will be willing to volunteer to do that. But as far as like being a full-on member and following what you guys are doing, you guys are going to have to find someone else, because I got to keep track of way too many things right now, let alone just being super focused on one.
Absolutely. Do you have any recommendations of people that are already integrating Hive that we could integrate into us?
I would have, but we lost a lot of members in the recent kind of fauna proposal. There's a lot of good fauna members there that are looking for some tasks to be filled. My recommendation personally, I know Rain is really good at just overall things. He's just a great guy, and he's very friendly. Maybe try and message him. He's not exactly Buzz, but I think he can kind of relay information and kind of integrate you guys better with OneHive. But as far as the Buzz members, the Buzz DAO is pretty slammed right now with everything going on. We have a new launch of a landing page coming today. You guys are going to see a sweet HoneySwap page coming soon. But yeah, the Buzz DAO is just kind of bleeding right now on resources. I could approach some of the admins that are kind of looking to get more involved into this stuff, and I could get back to you if you like.
That would be incredible.
Sorry. I was going to say Rain is already part of the Garden Swarm, so probably if he wants to, he probably is the best person to help us with the documentation. I personally think that it's very important to document, even if we don't. Sometimes we don't have the time. It's very important to document and close the issue, the funding requests with results, and this is something that I think that we did not do properly. That we requested more funds before finishing the things that we were already doing, and I think that it's important. So I think that the remaining 6 honey that we have right now in the swarm could go to finish the things and present. Could go specifically to document and finish and do that depth, that technical depth that we have, and so we can present finished work, and from there what we are going to do is if we have to finish also the rest of the things or new things, then we are going to do it by our own, and do not request right now new funds from OneHive.
Yeah. Okay. I understand you guys are seeking the funding, so you guys are mostly pushing towards advertising within OneHive, like its community, trying to get the support of the community. So far, the posts that I've seen as an outsider of Gardens, still don't understand, how it's going to benefit OneHive as a whole. So if you guys want someone to, kind of brief and summarize this in a way that, most technical people can understand it, that would be kind of the most ideal thing. But then again, I got to get back to you, Sem and Griff, on who would be the ideal member for this. What time zone do you guys even do your meetings in? I have no idea. Is it American?
Sem is in Europe. Sem is in Europe, and I'm on East Coast time.
Okay. Do you guys usually have them around this time?
I'd say basically
this time.
No. I just think like if there was a bunch of documentation written, and if it was clear to the OneHive community what you guys were building and how it was going to benefit us, then I think there'd be a lot more inspiration and a lot more enthusiasm for helping out from the Buzz DAO or from other people in the community. I think you'd be in a much better position to try and find someone to help bridge that particular gap. But until then, I think it's kind of difficult because no one here really has a clear understanding or again, any enthusiasm, I suppose, for what's going on. I mean, typically we it's only really me and maybe Luke a little bit, and then other people that have been really writing technical documentation on the things that we're building. And I do think it's probably easier if the people that are building the things write at least some of the basic technical documentation because they have a proper understanding of it. So I just kind of think that once we get the documentation written, I think it will be much easier to sell it to our community and to actually get someone involved to help bridge the marketing, bridge the communication gap, I suppose.
Yeah, I want to 2x that because when anything happens that's super technical, we either go to Luke or Will, as we're not really the people to judge the technicality aspects of stuff. So yeah, I support what Will's saying there, 100%.
So
we have some ideas.
What it sounds like to me is that Sam, it sounds like you feel like you need to write this documentation, and maybe we can request some support on the other issues you hope to be done, right? Which is like this smart contract. Create a smart contract for the vote that will do the commons upgrade. That's a big one, and I see Gabby in the call. I actually think he'd probably do it. What do you think, Sam? If he'd want.
I'm sorry. I have some internet issues. I lost the part from Gabby.
Yeah. Well, Gabby, I don't know if you have the space. It's not documented because Sam understood it, but it's basically like to do the commons upgrade to include the bonding curve and the conviction voting DAO, and then issue all these tokens. There's just a bunch of different processes that need to happen all in one vote. And I don't know if you would be interested in trying to tackle that.
Yeah, I can have a look. This is in the tech repo.
Yeah, it's issue 12 in the Hatch repo. I even send it to you. I'll just send it to you on Discord right now. But it's not very well documented, so you probably need to just ping Sam. But it would be great to, if Sam's down, to take that off of his off of his mind, so that he can focus on documentation.
Okay, it's fine. If you would like, I can. We can. I would love to have some help with.
And then Paulo, you're working on this issue, right? The readapt the marketplace to live without the hatch.
Yeah, I have that issue assigned, but I haven't started with it yet. I can help Sam with the thing I write about the Tech Hatch frontend and the connector, and details about the gardens, the gardens contracts. So maybe I can provide him with the observations and the small paragraph that I just write. And first I would like to finish some things related to the Hatch connector to improve some parts of the code, and then I can start with that issue.
Okay, that sounds good.
But by the way, I would like to reiterate that that we are going to freeze any funding request for now and finish the technical debt that we have, so we can show a good result of which must also be understandable for OneHive, about what we have been doing, and I think that's very important for any funding request to show it results. So we are going to do that, and I think that it's not going to be the thing is that we are going to work on that, but maybe we don't have it very quick, because we are going to be working on that, but I think that we are going slow, and maybe we, I mean, we will have that, and we will be working on that, but maybe we I don't know how I'm sorry. Yeah, I
want to mention that we actually do have a pull request on that. I don't know if it got merged, but there is a pull request on open in the wiki. And since Will's here, I don't know, did you check it out? Ivy made it, and then I made some.
No, I didn't see that. Typically, the way that people contribute to the wiki is... Sorry, am I breaking up? Basically, I'll check out your pull request. Sorry, I haven't seen it, because historically people have always I've always granted people direct access to the wiki so that they can edit it within the website, and then you can basically save it as a draft, and then people can, I check it generally, and then I merge it. So I will give you direct access to the wiki, but I'll also check out your pull request. I haven't seen it yet. Apologies. No. My bad.
No, not your bad at all. It's in the process, and I think it was done like so. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, cool. I'll check
cool.
it out. Yeah, cool. I'll check it out.
Well, cool. Is there any other issues, Sam, that you feel like are weighing you down that you want, so that you can focus on the documentation?
No, I think that we are going to be slower, but not a big deal. If I think that it's important that we communicate internally, and if we can have a team that works together, it will be easier later for advancing faster. So don't hesitate on asking for help.
Cool. And so does everyone feel like they have their tasks that they want to take on this week? Or does anyone have any like, oh wait, there's this one thing I'm unsure of, and we're 10 minutes over, so we can end the call and we can get back to work.
I have one thing to say. I don't know if it's really on topic. I know you guys are doing the technical documentation, but within that documentation, if you guys can kind of show the community how it's going to benefit OneHive. I know you guys discussed that you're going to have your own token, and when that happens, people are going to be a little bit, questioning of, why are they not building on OneHive token? Maybe just kind of expand on the on how the end goal would look like for OneHive. I think that would show a lot more value when you're trying to advertise within the community. Obviously, the technical is good as well, but just hearing you guys talk for the last 5 minutes on bonding curves and that stuff is just kind of way over my head. So technical is good, but at the same time, try to just be very dumb it down for guys like myself, so we can understand it. Because then, if I can get it, most people can understand as well.
if we have some ideas, well, we didn't discuss them internally, so I think that it's not so good to explain everything here because we will lack on agreement. But there are some ideas that we can be working in which benefits OneHive and TEC at the same time. First of all, of course, is that there is more people using XDAI. So that token will be traded in Honeyswap. Also, we are having more people using conviction voting, and most of the work that we have been doing with the funds that OneHive granted is improving OneHive technology. For example, the bonding curve is from OneHive and conviction voting. And if we request more funds in the future, we are going to be focusing specifically on improving conviction voting. And then there are some dynamics that we can benefit both of the communities, and also new gardens that use the commons template that we are building that could be very, very interesting. It's still very early because we didn't discuss it inside TEC. So I cannot. I should not. I probably should not be talking here about that. But let's say that future gardens that use the commons template will be interested in having their collaterals and their funds in a stablecoin. It's still something that we are exploring. I have to say, but it will be interesting to have the funds of the DAO in DAI. Instead of having in DAI, we can have that funds in Agave. So if it benefit, which will be something that will benefit OneHive because well, in the case that Agave benefits OneHive.
Okay.
So
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. For me that will be one of the most interesting outcomes. But it's very early to talk about that because Agave is still not done. You know, we don't have the consensus from TEC to do that. Maybe I talk too much.
No, it's okay. I was just wondering if this was kind of on the table for you guys, and you guys could share some info on that. But yeah, if you guys need to discuss, by all means. It's just these are the kind of things that are usually brought up within the community. People are trying to see the value of it. So if people are buying, honey, they want to see an appreciation of value on their coin, right? So just like this, always, appreciate the value of the coin, but also, when we have a lot of the users that don't understand a lot of the technical things, they're going to be more prone to vote against it, especially at, prices of the development of this project.
A couple other things I want to discuss, just and bounce off of you to see if these feel like they're benefits. But I think the most obvious one is some good progress last week on Celeste has allowed us to decide to jump on the Celeste train for the conviction voting progress. So that means that if there's a dispute, there would be a honey dispute resolution, or like if there's a challenge to a conviction voting proposal, the honey token holders would dispute it or would solve that. Does that feel good?
Not necessarily, unless you guys are paying Celeste for some reason or some way. Just because Celeste is already funded through OneHive. If you're saying that you're bouncing off Celeste again, they're going to say, why are we paying these guys again?
What
This
he's
is what-
saying is
I'm not trying to upset anyone here. I'm just throwing out thoughts.
the thing is basically there's a current version of Gardens which these guys are using, but we're basically in the process of kind of upgrading the template so that it integrates Celeste. At the moment, the Gardens template does not use Celeste, and therefore actions created within it, votes, proposals, cannot be disputed and raised to Celeste. What Griff is saying is that it's probably likely that Celeste is going to be integrated into their implementation of Gardens, so that at least when people are using their version of their DAO in order to raise disputes and in fact in order to create actions, well, not necessarily to create actions, but in order to raise disputes and like work out whether or not a vote or a proposal belongs within the DAO, it will have to use Celeste, and therefore there is some limited buy pressure on Honey in order to ensure that Celeste operates within their context.
Okay, yeah, that definitely shows some value that some of the community members can understand. I know that Griff, you've been, or Will, you've been leading the charge on Celeste. We're still kind of not 100% sure on the way that, we understand the application, but how is it going to bring in more money? I understand you're going to stake.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of to participate, right?
Yeah, we can come on to that. We can discuss that another time. I think it's probably a meeting that's best suited for the Gardens guys to continue their.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I think it's worth the 30-second or minute solution because that's curious. I think everyone here is very curious exactly how it works.
Okay, so just to give a brief overview, basically, for those who don't really know, Celeste is referred to as a subjective oracle or a dispute resolution service. And the way that it works at a very high level is a bunch of people will basically stake Honey in order to have the opportunity of being selected to decide on the outcome of a dispute. The more Honey you stake, the more chance you have of being selected to decide the outcome of a dispute. When a dispute is raised, in the case of one of our DAOs, it would be, for example, a vote is created to, I don't know, move a bunch of money around, like a typically obvious malicious one that currently couldn't be prevented is, say, someone decides that they're going to remove all of the money in the DAO, and they also have the majority of the tokens that are necessary to do that. What someone could do is they could challenge this vote, and it could be raised to Celeste, and Celeste could decide whether or not that particular vote belongs within that DAO. And what Celeste will do is it will randomly select, to begin with, 3 of these people who have previously staked, and these people don't know each other, and they each have to vote the way that they think is fair, basically, in this particular situation. They're given a bunch of evidence and a bunch of documentation to decide, and that ultimately decides whether or not that vote belongs within that DAO. So basically, in order for Celeste to function, these jurors effectively have to stake some amount to Celeste, and this token will be Honey. In order for a DAO to invoke Celeste, in order for it to make a decision for them, that will also cost Honey. So when someone decides to challenge a vote in a DAO and they think it doesn't fit within that DAO, then they have to pay some amount to Celeste. Ultimately, whoever loses the dispute, whether it's the person who created the vote in the first place or the person who chose to challenge that particular vote, whoever loses are the ones that ultimately pay the price, pay the fee in Honey for the Celeste dispute service, and the other one gets their money back. One other thing that's probably worth mentioning is that the person who basically creates the action from now on, in order to create votes, you'll have to put up some amount of collateral, some amount of, in the One Hive DAO, it will be Honey. It won't necessarily have to be one Honey for other DAOs, but they will have to pay the fees to Celeste in Honey. So ultimately, Celeste operates entirely on Honey. In order to become a jury, you need to stake Honey, and you would earn Honey if you correctly decide on outcomes of disputes. And yeah, that's basically the reason that there will be a need for honey if people are using Celeste, because they will have to, in order to invoke Celeste, they will have to pay honey in order to make it work. So that's the basic overview.
Sweet.
It's probably
Yeah. So Griff, you obviously can see there Celeste will be kind of a platform or an app that can increase liquidity, can bring in fees for OneHive. Maybe start integrating some stuff like that, something that the community can relate to and understand in plain terms. I think that's a good start there.
Well,
yeah.
Just to be brief, I think that the ways that Gardens is now Gardens is very much being built for one explicit purpose. But I think the general intention is that as time goes by, we will try to generalize this structure, and we will reuse a lot of what the current Garden Swarm has built, a lot of the UI, and probably a lot of the contract changes, to create a more generalizable version that the OneHive might integrate. I think we're likely to integrate it into the honeypot, but in general, it's going to be used for our going forward within OneHive. I think.
Yeah.
Go on, Rodrigo.
No, I was just going to say that basically, you know how Aragon works, where you have a client and you can create a DAO and interact in the same client with a several number of DAOs. Well, the idea is to get the honeypot side reconverted in order to not just support the OneHive DAO, but to support any kind of garden DAO. So yeah, basically is that.
Yeah. And so a lot of what they're building will be reused. Basically, I think it would be very. I think once these guys, the Gardens guys, manage to write some documentation, and hopefully, along with Luke also implied that or said that he was going to write some documentation. I think once we've got that stuff written up, it'll become a lot clearer to the OneHive community what the purpose of this kind of endeavor is. It's certainly very beneficial, and it's absolutely in line with what we were always intending to build. So there just needs to be more clarification about exactly why it's being built and what's going on, basically. And then I think you'll understand Dosh and others.
Yeah. A couple more points that maybe I don't have to dwell on so long, but the big ones are that there, like Sem said, there would be more economy on using XDAI and using HoneySwap. Also, there would be and our goal is to generalize it. We're not just TEC is our first user, so we're using them. You learn a lot when you design for a user, right? So it's really nice to have them to figure out the details about how to. But we are making this a template. This is something that's very general. In fact, we're also, by teaming up with the token engineering community, we're hoping that we can really figure out how best to choose parameters and how to walk other communities through choosing the parameters for. YGG is here, and he's working on it's like a templated, I wouldn't say white paper, but spec, where you could fork it, change a couple numbers, and then boom, you get all these cool graphs that will describe how the economy just by copying and pasting, and then you have spec. That will be very helpful for onboarding other projects to it. And the other big thing that we have connections with very good auditors that will hopefully be reviewing all of our code base, making the OneHive code base stronger because we share so much of it, specifically disputable conviction voting and the marketplace app. And the other thing is other projects like Luna Swarm and other things that are aligned with the OneHive community would be requesting funding from the TEC. So it would reduce the funding requirements of Luna Swarm for sure, who's already applied to even though the TEC isn't live yet, we've already got them to apply funding from us, which can reduce the burden on the Honey Treasury. And really, it's just the DAO to DAO partnership with all the token engineers and getting them to become and to start add value to the Hive ecosystem. Now, a lot of those aren't direct. A lot of those are very indirect benefits. It's not the, honey and thing, but do any of those land well with you on where it's like, oh, this is a clear, strong benefit, like, or are they
Yeah,
too?
it's not just me in the community deciding on these. Like I'm just one person, kind of just understanding what's happening. I do see value in it. Just my question is, just how much value does it bring? Does it bring the enough value for the outflows to kind of balance the inflows? Maybe it's a longer term kind of thing versus a short term. And my other question is, you keep mentioning XDAI. Have you guys reached out to any of the XDAI team to procure any of these funds? I know this is going to increase, their network value. So, we could see some kind of, feedback from, if XDAI is sponsoring some of these projects or whatnot. But overall, if you guys do combine the whole Celeste thing and, you're integrating into Honeypot and you're saying that, we also have audits on top of that. I mean, just there, if you say audit, we all know how much audits are these days. So, I mean, that kind of pays for itself. If you're doing, audits on our conviction voting, which I know we had one issue a few months back. I think Will was the one that fixed it. But yeah, overall, I think, like Will said, once we get some documentation and a general idea of what's happening with Gardens, I think just the whole community will be more aware of you guys and probably more willing to fund proposals and future initiatives for you and your team.
And I want to just be like extremely transparent around the reality of the situation. Is that not that, like, honestly, if we put it on chain, I'm pretty sure that we could get enough individual honey to make sure it passes. And so it's not actually the funding. It's not like we're worried about getting the votes, because the way conviction voting works, you can have parallel paths and disagreements and things will still pass. What I'm worried about more is making sure that we have a really strong community vibe and coherency or cohesion between the teams, because that's what we want. So we want. It's not about getting the funding. We can get the. But
oh yeah. I know for sure. I've seen that most of the seeds are in here. You guys can pass your own votes for sure. It's more about reassuring the rest of the community, the outside investors that have come on kind of later within the last few months, right? After that big pump, your community went from maybe a handful of individuals to a very broad spectrum of individuals. And even Fauna, we had the power to kind of pass our own proposals, but we kind of said no. Let's let the community kind of decide, and if we start passing our own stuff, we're kind of breaking the whole DAO thing, right? So it's all about it being inclusive with everyone, being transparent with everyone. So that's when I say, like, to get funding, I meant like to get community approval. I know funding is it's pretty easy when you guys have majority, so that's not the issue there. But yeah, overall, just to kind of end it off on a high note, I think what you guys are doing is great. We're waiting to see on the technical documentation, and maybe after we read some stuff and kind of get a better understanding, we could probably push forward for I think Boring had mentioned AMAs and other things Buzz can help you with, and you had mentioned that we could add a Buzz member, but for right now, for me to pick someone randomly, it's not really an ideal thing. If you guys could post the documentation, we can read it, and then I can kind of ask the members, like, hey, who wants to be a part of it? Like, it's not like kind of forcing someone to do it. That would be kind of the way we can proceed forward with this call.
Thanks, man. Well, and we're half an hour over, so I want to. respect everyone's time. And I really appreciate everyone hanging out while we debate these finer pieces. Does anyone have any final thoughts they want to share before we break?
Yeah, I just posted the weekly update for the Guardian. I included the Guardian inside. So that's a good start.
Thanks a lot, Boring.
Yeah.
Boring. I
Yeah,
think
no
I just saw
problem.
an update come through.
Yep.
Okay, sweet.
Thanks, guys.
Sweet. Thank you so much, Griff, and everyone else that's been part of this. Yeah, we'll be in contact soon.